Good morning, everybody. It's Julie, and this is day 2 of me being out of my 14 days quarantine. I have had a really interesting experience of being in isolation, sharing my home with Bill in separate parts of the house and making sure I'm doing the right thing, because I came back from Kerala 16 days ago and had to go straight into quarantine at home. It's been a really interesting exercise that I thought would be useful to share with you right now, as all of us are taking responsibility in some form and staying at home as much as we can. I realised during the 14 days that there was so much that I did in my day, the doing, and the busyness, that didn't really matter. It wasn't necessary. When you are forced to stop and to reassess, so many things happen in that space, in that gap. It's extraordinary. What I observed was that as my mind wound down and I went into a rush to work out how I would stay centered, I reverted back to my practices. It felt like I was actually on a 14-day silent meditation retreat, which I've done 3 times now. So I just took it as being and making it as a gift to myself. So I did longer yoga practices out here in the garden. I did longer pranayama practices, the yogic breathing, which was balancing for my mind. And I did meditations, mostly guided meditations from my beautiful shamans and elders and wise people from around the world that have been posting things on Facebook and other platforms, which we're about to roll out and share with you. And the reason why I did this, and particularly with Chandra Sun Eagle, who I'd just done a retreat in Sedona, Arizona with her in October, November last year, I needed her words and her voice to anchor me at a time when my world was spinning. For those that know you personally, I'm dealing with a very sick mum at the moment and a wedding. I'm getting married in 2 days' time. So there's been lots of happenings that I've had to deal with: trauma, grief, letting go, and letting go more as things have changed even more. So I've drawn on my practices and they have really anchored me. I've remembered to look up at this beautiful sky. You can see this beautiful sky, hopefully, in Perth. We're very blessed. We live in a beautiful, beautiful city. I've taken extraordinary measures to be safe and clean. I've cleaned a lot. Hand sanitizer for everything. Cooking with gloves. If I do cook, I make sure it's actually cooked. And sharing in a space where both of us can live with our dogs. I've really, really missed my dog walks. That was my sanctuary. However, I've been able to just look up at the sky and know that this too shall pass, and be drawn in and grounded through the beautiful meditations that are being shared out into the world. Being very protective of my energy, so not watching any scary television programs, not that I really did that anyway. Being very mindful about what I read as far as news. Really going into my bubble, which for those of you that have journeyed with me on retreats, know that I talk about your white light cocoon and your bubble. That is a form of protection in one way, but it's also where you can sit back and rest into and find refuge in, but also allow that breathing membrane to still have you connect with others. I've connected in many different forms with others, and it's been so joyous. I've written letters, handwritten letters, the old-fashioned way. I have connected on FaceTime and Skype and Zoom, have created gatherings for our team so that we can connect in once a week to check in on each other and make sure we're all doing okay. And just to give that virtual hug to the people that we love and care for. It's really incredible what's come out of these 2 weeks. I've stepped out of the 2 weeks and I'm still in isolation of sorts, in that being responsible. But it's so joyous to be able to walk my dog now, to look up at the trees and really appreciate what we have around us. One thing that I did delve further into was my metta practice, which is a practice Sky, a beautiful friend of mine, meditation teacher, taught me many years ago, developing loving kindness and compassion, and also my gratitude practice. Very, 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 very important to do gratitude practice at this time, because we all have something to be grateful for. So hopefully these little tips are helpful to you, and I would love to hear from you in whatever form, email, phone, in whatever form, to share any tips that you have, because we can all, we're all in this together. We're all dealing with stuff, but it's really, really important to draw on the practices that you've learnt on our journeys or retreats, or read in books or seen in webinars, whatever grounds you. It really is the simple things, and I've learnt mostly in this time that love is the only thing that matters. All the rest is stuff. It doesn't matter how many bedrooms you have in your house, it's all just stuff. So just breathe in what you have surrounding you already and be grateful for all that we share in our life. I'm incredibly grateful that you're in my life. I've had some beautiful emails from you that have just uplifted me, brought me to tears, good tears, but just offering support and love at a time that I need it. I really needed it. So thank you. And namaste, and I look forward to staying connected with you always. Namaste.